Good evening, everyone. I'm Michael. I'm one of the volunteers here. Welcome to this evening's meditation practice. Anyone here for the first time? Great. First time of the evening. Well, still great to see everybody here this evening. Before we get started, we have a few announcements. If you haven't already, remember to silence your cell phones and please put them away so you can be fully present for the meditation and talk this evening. If you must use your phone, please do so outside the meditation hall. We invite you to join us for our weekly Tuesday evening events with Medicine Buddha practice at 6 p.m. and the public talk at 7 p.m. Next week for the Tuesday evening talk, Geshe Phende will continue the 37 practices of a bodhisattva. Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m., the Drepung Loseling monks conduct evening prayers for His Holiness the Dalai Lama's long life and other teachers. On Thursdays at 4:30 p.m., the Drepung Loseling monks conduct the Protector Puja for smooth journeys, successive interviews, medical treatments, new business, etc. Our popular five-class foundation series continues this Saturday with the four immeasurables: loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. This one-day retreat via Zoom focuses on the four immeasurables which are cultivated to extend towards sentient beings with a mind free of bias. The series is a prereq for the intermediate series and other retreats. We're thrilled to announce the upcoming book release of Engaged Compassion by our founder and spiritual director, Geshe Lobsang Tenzin Negi, Ph.D., releasing on May 12, 2026. On Sunday, May 17th, Geshe will lead our 11 a.m. meditation and host a book signing afterwards. Pre-orders are available now through all major booksellers. Pre-ordering is a wonderful way to support the launch of this meaningful work. Info is in the lobby and on the website. We're pleased to announce a return visit with the nuns of Sravasti Abbey on May 7th to give an evening talk to our community before heading back home. Join the visiting nuns, Venerables Thupten Damcho and Thupten Rinchen, as they lead an exploration in empathetic joy and equanimity. They will discuss how to move past the subtle biases of us versus them and how to cultivate a joy that isn't dependent on our own personal gains. That'll be in person only. Information for all the events can be found in the lobby and on our website at drepung.org. If anyone is interested in volunteering, you can see any one of us with a name tag. If you are interested in becoming a member to support the ongoing programs and to take advantage of benefits like discounts on the courses and the retreats, applications are available in the library, and you can also register online. There's a donation box at the entrance to the room. Your generous support helps us to continue to offer programs and services like this to our Atlanta community and to those around the world through our online programs. Now, if you would, please stand as we invite our resident teacher, Geshe Phende, to come in for this evening's talk.
Okay, now first we're going to recite the mantra of Heart Sutra. Tayata gati gati para gati para sangati bodhi soha Tayata gate gate para gate parasan gate bodhisoha 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 tayata gate gate para gate parasan gate bodhisoha. Now next is the four immeasurables. So when we recite this prayer, it is very important to meditate on four immeasurables, which we are reciting here: love, compassion, joyfulness, equanimity. So it's kind of not just visualize, it's really try to feel from your heart. You really sincerely wish every being be free from suffering, to have happiness, like each the prayer we recite. Try to feeling is most important. May all beings have happiness. May they be free from suffering. May they find the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from attachments and hatred. May all beings have happiness. May they be free from suffering. May they find the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from attachments and hatred. May all beings have happiness. May they be free from suffering. May they find the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from attachments and hatred. Next mandala offering. Oi sai shi pi ji joy shi ai me ai to tama ai ri ai rava li shi ni ai de ai ke ai pa ti Sangye Shinto Me Te Bewayi Joy Kuye Nama Chöyapa Sho Yidam Guru Ratna Mendala Kamniyataya Me. Okay, now today the teaching is stanza 10th, right, the 37 practices of Bodhisattva, the stanza 10th. So stanza 8, 9, 10 are most important kind of the practice, among 37 kind of practice they have, but the stanza 8, 9, 10 are really important. So today the stanza 10th, it's called the practice 10th. So this we call the 37 practices of Bodhisattva. So this is the practice 10th, which is usually, I mentioned last time, the actual the practice, they are divided into 3 scopes, small scopes, medium scopes, and the great scopes. So today is the starting the great scopes practice, kind of the which is specific the Mahayana practice, and this stanza focused on this specific one kind of practice called bodhicitta, right? The mind of enlightenment, the awakening mind. So today, stanza 10th is talking about that bodhicitta. So first we recite that stanza. Togme Togme Dala Zewaje Manam Tugna Rangdi Jishija Teacher Tai Semjin Dejilchir Chanchu Semke Geshe Loseling. When your mothers who have loved you since time without beginning are suffering, what use is your own happiness? Therefore, to free limitless living beings, develop the altruistic intention. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. So the last stanza 9th, we're talking about the renunciation practice, right? Seeking oneself to achieve the liberation, freedom of mental affliction, the freedom of samsara. Now, in this stanza, what they're talking is, when your mothers who have loved you since time without beginnings are suffering. So when your mothers are suffering, what use is your own happiness? So what is the benefit to remain yourself very happy because your mothers, they are suffer, right? So when you're seeing the others, your own mothers so much suffer, even whatever you gain externally, materialistic, whatever pleasure you have, you will not going to be experienced true pleasure, true happiness, because of your mind, seeking those mothers are the suffer. So what is showing is, it's not only for yourself happiness, the happiness which is also think about entire sentient beings, their happiness also. When they suffer, how much you achieved happiness, you will never experience that happiness. So it's showing to sense of concerns, others' well-beings, others' happiness. So that's called great scope, great scope, which means these practitioners, their mind is so big, it's great mind. It's not only thinking oneself alone, it's thinking about entire, sentient beings. So that is why it's called great scope. The mind is huge, big. It's think about entire, not just oneself. So that's why I say, when your mothers who have loved you since times without beginnings are suffering, so when they are suffering, what use is your own happiness? What benefit? What use your own happiness? Right? You will not going to be experience that happiness. Therefore, to free limitless living beings, therefore, to free others, countless of sentient beings, right, from their suffering, develop the altruistic intention. So in order to free, in order to help others, right, free to overcome their suffering, you need to develop the altruistic intention, which is called bodhicitta, right, awakening mind, the mind of enlightenment. This is the practice of bodhisattva. That's why bodhisattvas are who practicing on bodhicitta. Right? So, this practice, what is showing is, I mentioned, it cultivate bodhicitta. So, bodhi in Sanskrit, bodhi means awakening, enlightenment. Citta means mind. So, it's kind of the mind of enlightenment, right? Awakening mind. So, what does that really mean? Right? What is the definition of bodhicitta? Why this is very important for the Mahayana practitioners, which means seeking oneself, to achieve Buddhahood, enlightenment. But the purpose of achieving enlightenment oneself is to benefit to all beings. That's called bodhicitta. So seeking oneself to achieve enlightenment, Buddhahood, for sake of all beings. That kind of mind is called bodhicitta, awakening mind. So what is this mind helps you? Means when you achieved bodhicitta, awakening mind. So bodhicitta, the awakening mind, is like a vehicle, and now will take you to the Buddhahood, enlightenment, for sake of all beings. So, wish to achieve enlightenment is not difficult, right? Do you want to become a Buddha? You say, oh, of course, who wants to be Buddha? But that's not difficult. So the difficult part is, what is the reason why you want to become a Buddha? That part is difficult. Because here in bodhicitta means, why you want to become a Buddha? Because of to benefit to all sentient beings. So purpose of becoming Buddha or enlightened being is to benefit to all beings. So that part is difficult. To benefit to all beings, not only for the sake of yourself. It's not for yourself. It's mainly for sake of entire beings, right? So that kind of intention or that kind of mind is called bodhicitta. So that type of bodhicitta, in order to generate, first you have to have compassion to others. Without feeling compassion to entire beings, bodhicitta, it's impossible, right? Your purpose of you becoming Buddha is to save others from their sufferings. So you have so much concern, others suffering. You really always worry, concern about others suffering. So in order to save them today in your situation, of course you cannot able to save others, right? Even you have intention, wants to save, but in practically life, you cannot able to save others. Yourself is even how much suffer, right? As parents, when they are very poor, even they do not want their child suffering of poor, right? They do not want, they really want to save them. But when themselves is very poor, how can they help to their children's, right? Save from poor. So in order to help them, you have to first make a money, rich, then you can save others. That practically, just wish to help them, it's good, but practically, it's not benefit to them, right? Exactly same like that. You have sincerely compassion, you really want to save others from the suffering, but in your situation today, you cannot save them, able to save them. Even yourself will still suffer, yourself will still circle in samsara. So in order to save them from the suffering, first you need to achieve enlightenment, Buddhahood, yourself first. Then you can pull out other beings, right? That kind of mind is called bodhicitta, awakening mind. So this bodhicitta is the main kind of the practice of the Mahayana. So when we saying, I am Mahayana Buddhist, right? I practice Mahayana Buddhism, that means that person, its main focus is bodhicitta, which means mainly the thinking, concern is to others' well-being, always looking to others, how can I help them? Always your mind, it's 24 hours, concerns others' well-being. So that kind of, mind, it's called the Mahayana, so practice. So, in order to, first, when you achieved bodhicitta, when you experience bodhicitta, then it's called bodhisattvas, right? When we say Buddha and bodhisattvas in Sanskrit, right? Buddha means the enlightened beings, right? Who are completely free from all the defilements, all the obstacles, full of knowledge. When we say Buddha in Tibetan word, Sangye, there are two sentences, Sangye. Sang means free from all the faults, free from all the obstacles, right? Afflictive, cognitive obstacles. So free from all the defilements, free from all the ignorance, all the obstacle, that's called sang, the first word. Ge means full of knowledge, means experience, full of education, full of knowledge, which means the person who has omniscient, means achieved the omniscient. Omniscient means the mind who cognize all the phenomena directly, right? That kind of cognizer, the valid cognizer, it's called the omniscient, right? So that kind of knowledge, the person who achieved it, that person we call Buddha. So Buddha doesn't mean historical, like a Prince Siddhartha born in India. We have, Buddha means one story. This is among the countless of Buddha, one story, right? General Buddha means inner quality, It's kind of inner quality. The person who achieve, who has this inner quality, those people, those person is called Buddha, enlightened beings. In the Buddhist perspective, enlightened beings means being who is completely free from all the ignorance, all the mistaken thoughts, all the defilements, all the obstacles, who has full of knowledge, right? Reached omniscient, full of knowledge. That kind of quality, whoever has that person called enlightened beings, Buddha, right? So therefore, seeking oneself to become a Buddha is for sake of entire beings. So caution here is, why I have to become a Buddha, right? In order to benefit to all beings. How? Why I have to become a Buddha? Second thing is, when you become a Buddha, when you become enlightened beings, you can directly save every beings. You can do some power or some blessing. That's how you can save it. But also not. Buddha Shakyamuni, right? This current Buddha, one of his teaching, the stanza, it says, Tubnam Digpa Chui Mitushings, means enlightened beings. Buddhas cannot wash your negative karmas, right? By holy water. So enlightened beings cannot able to wash our bad karmas. They also cannot take our suffering by their hands. Also, they cannot transform their realization, their knowledge to us, to others. Now what they can do, they can teach us what is the truth, what is the reality. So through the teaching on the reality, then the followers study, educate it, apply the practice, then overcome your ignorance, your misconception, right? Your mistaken thoughts, emotions, overcome that. That's how they helps. Helping, which means they teach, guide us, education, right? Through that, we learn and ourselves need to liberate. So Buddha's help, which means it's like a teacher who guide us, who teach us. That's the only they can do. They cannot come and take out our suffering or do some miracle. It's nothing. They cannot. That's what they say. And from the logic perspective, if they can able to, save us through their power, then simple question is why they're not doing this, right? They have love to entire beings, right? They have a compassion to entire beings. So today in the world, everybody suffer. So why not they just come and do some blessing and help us to lead us to the heaven or wherever, best place. If that's possible, then why they're not doing this? It's a very simple question. So they say it's not. They cannot. It's like exactly same like a ordinary life. When the parents, very smart, right? Being a smart parents doesn't mean their children become really smart, right? Their children themselves have to go to school, they need to learn, they need to educate it, then that's how they become a smart. Parent cannot bring their own education and put it into their children's. They cannot take it out, their ignorance. They themselves have to do that. That's exactly the self-responsibility. But being a smart parents, more advantages. They can teach them, they can guide them, they can facilitate them, they can do many things, right? So being children of smart parents, they have advantages to learn much better, much faster, right? As a parent who do not know anything, these children are very difficult, right? They need somebody else to help, homework or whatever, right? But the point is the children themselves need to do that. Exactly same that way. So therefore, as a Buddhist, first, when we say, I become a Buddhist, which means I take refuge to the three precious jewels, right? That's how we call you become Buddhists. It's not about we do some ceremony, we do some blessing. It's not about these things. These things doesn't mean they're rubbish. Of course, there's some blessing or something benefit, but this is not how can make decision, okay, you come to this refuge ceremony, now you are Buddhist. You didn't come to the refuge ceremony, you are not Buddhist. Nobody can do this. It's mental, themselves. So becoming Buddhist means take refuge to the three precious jewels. So when you refuge, right, you're relying on Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and that time we're relying on Buddha as a teacher, right? That's the first time when we take refuge in Buddha as a teacher, right? But actually, who can save you? Your dharma, your realization, your knowledge, right? Your experience. That's the actual who save you. Like for instance, if you sincerely feel love and compassion to entire beings, your love and your compassion can save you from your anger, your hatred, right? Your resentment, your self-centered, these negative mind. When you save from anger, resentment like this, they can also save so many, your bad behavior, your bad action, right? Out of anger, you act violent. These violent actions create lots of problem toward you, towards your families, members, or others. So all these suffering, all this drama, how helps? It's not somebody bless you, okay, next time no drama. Not about that. These coming from too much anger, too much hatred, right? You need to get rid of this hatred. When the causes change, result change. So that anger, how can change it? Cultivate love, right? Compassion. So your actual medicine is your love and compassion. Cultivate this love and compassion. What it's going to do? It heals you from your anger and hatreds. When you're free from your anger and hatred, there are many other problems who creates by anger, all heals you. So actual saver is called dharma. Dharma, doctrines, practice, realization, love, compassion, bodhicitta, wisdom. That's our main saver, right? As a Buddhist, this is the main object we take refuge. These are the saver. So this dharma doesn't mean outside there something can do. It's inside. You need to generate that, right? When you're able to generate the dharma, your dharma is the one who helps you. Another word is from the modern education. Your knowledge, your education will help you, right? To overcome your ignorance, your, what you call wrong perceptions. Your knowledge will save you. Exactly same like that. The dharma is the saver. So this dharma, what you need to do, you need to cultivate, right? You need to develop. You need to generate it. So in order to do that, teacher is very important. Somebody who can teach you, who can guide you, who can inspire you. That's how we rely on a Buddha as a teacher who can explain how to cultivate this, what kind of medicine we need to take it, right? Exactly same like that. So therefore, here, seeking oneself to become a Buddha, then how can it help to other means? According to Buddhist psychologists, the main causes of the suffering today we have is your ignorance, right? When we talk about the ignorance, it's not just one. According to Buddhist psychology, all your mental afflictions, anger, attachment, jealousy, arrogance, all of these negative emotions are part of ignorance, part of wrong consciousness. Ignorance means wrong consciousness. General, there are two different types of the ignorance. One ignorance is called not knowing, is the ignorance. Another one is called completely wrong understanding, right? You perceiving, you apprehending wrong, mistake, that kind of cognizer, right? Or what you call a mind, is called the ignorance. That means all our mental afflictions, negative emotions are part of ignorance, wrong consciousness. It's called mistaken consciousness. So that's why we suffer, right? When Buddha first teach the Dharma, he talked about Four Noble Truths. That time he already introduced all this suffering come from where? Second Noble Truth, truth of origin of suffering. When he introduced the truth of origin of suffering, mainly he pinpointed your mental afflictions, your negative emotions, mental afflictions. That's the main causes of the suffering. So Buddha Dharma, Buddhism, is mainly for sake of overcome this mental affliction. That's the main point. So as long as living under the influence of mental affliction, ignorance, that persons somehow make mistake, wrong. So when you make a mistake, you suffer, right? That's why. So causes of suffering is mistake. That mistake comes from ignorance. So therefore, in order to overcome that ignorance, you need to generate the wisdom, right? You need to cultivate the wisdom. Intelligent means you need to understand what is the truth, what is the reality, right? Therefore, in order to understand the truth, reality, you need somebody can give that, teach them, guide them, explain what is the truth, what is the reality, right? So therefore, seeking oneself to become a Buddha means if you achieve enlightenment, Buddhahood, what you can mainly, like a main purpose of, what you call the main job of the enlightened beings are who teach the Dharma. There are many other things, small helps, helping this way, there are many others help, but one of the best way to help others is teach the Dharma. Teaching Dharma doesn't mean some prayers or something. It's not about that. Teaching Dharma means teaching the truth. What is the reality? How to overcome suffering? Suffering comes from where? How to get rid of this suffering? Each detailed information that teach. So when you got this information as a student who really understanding what is the truth, what is the reality, that knowledge will help them to overcome their ignorance, right? That's how they overcome their suffering, all this problem because of this wrong perception, right? These are the ones who are creating. So Because of that reason, when you really study Buddhism, they're very much talking about emotion, mind, philosophy, logic, right? There's so many things, these things. The reason is our goal is to overcome these kind of wrong perception. So we need to understand there are layers of these wrong perception, wrong consciousness which we have. Among there, what is the fundamental wrong perception? Ignorance. What is the main ignorance? That's called mind of self-grasping, right? According to Buddhist psychology, mind of self-grasping. So that mind, very difficult to understand. Without understanding the philosophy, it is impossible to understand this mind of self-grasping, why it is wrong, why it is mistake. That is why we study the philosophy. Philosophy helps us to understanding there are many wrong perceptions which we have. We don't know these are the wrong, these are the mistake. Because in our mind, in this moment, our perception have not enough power to see, to experience directly about this truth reality. So we need to go much deeper level. That's the philosophy. Logic help us to go much deeper. Even our direct perception cannot experience. But philosophy, logic can help us through the reason. Oh, through this reason, it should be this way, should be that way, right? That's why there's a mind called inferential cognizer, right? Inferential cognizer, which inferential cognizer means the cognizer who cognizing the truth through reason, not directly, right? Inferential cognizer. So why these are very important? Because of this wrong perception. So what is the mind of self-grasping? What they experience? There's lots of information. Of course, we don't need to go right now. It's the future will come. One of the stanza will talk about this. Because of that reason, we need the person, the teacher, him or herself fully understanding what is the truth, what is the reality, who have just full knowledge, not enough. You have to have sincerely love and compassion to entire beings equally. Doesn't matter they accept you or not, they are your family, their enemy, doesn't matter. Your love and compassion towards them is absolutely equally. These are also important. Then themselves, not just full of knowledge and good intention, they have to have skill. How to teach, how to deliver this message according to these people, this mental disposition. Each people have different mindset. Certain people will not understand when you go this way, when you go that way. So you have to have special skill. How should deliver to each of those peoples according to their mental disposition. That skill come from omniscience. When you're able to read others' brain capacity, when you're able to understand, that wisdom helps you how to teach them, how to guide them, right? So these are the quality they needed in order to really help to entire beings. So that quality, in order to achieve, you have to have enlightened beings, right? The being who has this quality, full of knowledge. Not only that, equal love and compassion to entire beings, very honest. Upon their very skillful how to deliver this message. So this quality only when you achieve enlightenment, Buddhahood. Therefore, in order to save to entire beings, right? Saving, which means mainly as a teacher, can teach like this philosophy, this information to get them. So you have to achieve Buddhahood. Then you can fulfill of helping. You can do that. Otherwise, partial. You can help a little bit, but not completely there. So that's why in order to benefit the entire beings, you have to have this omniscient, enlightened mind, that quality. Then you can serve to entire beings. Therefore, as bodhisattvas, whose main focus is to benefit all beings. So in order to do that, I need to achieve Buddhahood. Otherwise, I cannot able to help them. Right? Through that reason, you're cultivating desire, wish to achieve enlightenment, Buddhahood oneself for sake of all beings. That's called bodhicitta. Right? So it's a very, very powerful mind. So now that kind of bodhicitta, how should we develop? Right? Develop this bodhicitta. So in general, in the Tibetan tradition, or maybe today we have, is this teaching is the source come from where? It's Buddha when he taught the one of the texts called Prajnaparamita Sutra, which means the perfection of wisdom sutra. Right? Second will of Dharma. Maybe around he was 40, late 40, around there. The second will of Dharma. He taught into one of the mountain, the place called Rajgiri, the vulture peak place. It's still there in India when you go there. So he taught the sutra called Prajnaparamita Sutra, the perfection of wisdom sutra. So that sutra is one of the most important sutra for the Mahayana practitioners. This is one of the main textbook. We study that, right? There's many versions, extensive version, medium, short version, one of the shortest version. There are many. Extensive, which has 100,000 stanza. The extensive one has. And the medium one has 20,000 stanza, right? Then the short version has 8,000 stanza. One volume, 8,000. Extensive, which has 12 volumes. Each volume has 400-500 pages, right? The medium has 3 volumes, 20,000. The shortest version is the Heart Sutra. Heart Sutra, many of you may know, right? All the Mahayana Buddhist temples, they're reciting this always. There's only 25 stanza, the Heart Sutras. So this is the main text. So this is our source, this bodhicitta, which we're talking about. So what they teach, this sutra, explicitity and implicity. There are 2 ways. Explicitity, they taught philosophy. It's called the emptiness, that philosophy, explicitity. So when you read the Heart Sutra, they directly, when you read it, they say, there's no eye, no ears, no tongue, no body, right? Form is empty, emptiness is form, form is not other than emptiness, emptiness is not other than form. Like all, talking about the emptiness, that explicitity. Implicity, it taught all the method aspect of the path, bodhicitta, 6 paramita, the 6 perfection practice, all of these things, step by step, they talk about this. So it's a very profound and important the text. So when Buddha taught that teaching, during the among the disciples, right, during that time, human beings, God realms beings are there, right? During the Buddha time, it's been more than 2,500-600 years ago, right? So within the God realms disciple, there's the one called Maitreya. It's one of the Bodhisattvas, Maitreya. And another one student called Manjushri, right? The Manjushri in Sanskrit. So the Maitreya and the Manjushri are the one of kind of among the hundreds or thousands of the students, but these two disciples who, after when they receive those teaching, they emphasize on this teaching. They follow, they research, and they keep this teaching and spread to two different ways. So therefore, one is called the lineage, which has come from Manjushri, right? And the one lineage which come from Maitreya through these two disciples. So then Maitreya teach to his student is called Arya Asanga. It's around 5th century, that master. 4th, 5th century, I think, around there. Manjushri teaching this to his disciple called Arya Nagarjuna, around 2nd century. Right? Nagarjuna is maybe around South India. That's the human beings. Manjushri and Maitreya are the two beings from the God realms beings. Right? They are the God realm beings. So they can remain, thousands and thousands of years. That's the God realm beings. So only the student who qualify to able to take directly teaching from God realms, the one is Nagarjuna. So he received his teaching from the Manjushri. So during the Buddha's time, Manjushri, then after Buddha, it's been like a 400-500 years gap between Nagarjuna and Buddha, right? But he received this from the Manjushri. That's the disciple who keep these teachings. So there's two different lineage, all that comes. So when these lineage come, they focus different way. One of the purposes, goal is to cultivate bodhicitta, right? That's today I'm talking about. So, but this master, when they brings this teaching, because of the people have different mental disposition, they teach different way. Buddha teach all of this together, but they emphasize on this style and this style. So they emphasize two different way. So this stanza right now we're studying, right now, stanza 10, practice 10, is specific from the lineage of the Maitreya lineage teachings. So that what they call, that lineage called, actually this lineage called the lineage of extensive deeds, lineage of extensive deeds. So this lineage, according to the text, it's called the lineage originating the Buddha Shakyamuni, transmitted with Maitreya and Arya Asanga, that practice called the 7-point cause and effect instruction. 7-point cause and effect instruction. That's the Maitreya lineage, the lineage of extensive deeds. So how should we cultivate bodhicitta? They have 7-point different meditation, 7 different steps of the meditation. First 6 are the causes. They are the causes. Number 7 is the result, bodhicitta. It's the number 7. So in order to generate bodhicitta, they go step by steps, the order. So you have to go order, right order, correct order. So if the orders go mistake, then it's very difficult to cultivate, to experience that. So the right order from the Maitreya lineage is called the 7 points cause and effect instruction. So what are the 7 points? What are the first 6 causes? First meditation is understanding all sentient beings as your mother, right? Understanding all sentient beings as your mother. That's the first. Second, remember their kindness, the mother's kindness, right? Then third, wish to repay their kindness. You receive the kindness, you're cultivating wish to repay their kindness, right? These are the first 3 causes. Then number 4 is called affection, love. Affection, love is the general love. There are 2 differences. Affection, love, which means the mind of endearment, the mind who feels very close, very dear, right? You're seeing them as so lovable. That type of the mind is called the affection, love. Then number 5, compassion, the great compassion, right? Then number 6, according to the English translation, it's called unusual attitude. In Tibetan words called laksam. It's called unusual attitude, which means kind of the compassion, but it's a very different type. It's called spatial compassion, right? It's called unusual attitude. So these are the 6 causes. And then result, bodhicitta. That's the result, bodhicitta. So therefore now here, 6 causes, here when the stanza saying, when your mothers who have loved you since time without beginning are suffering, right? That line is talking about when your mothers, so when your mothers, they use specific as a mother's word. So what does that mean? That means, of course, in order to generate bodhicitta, without compassion, I mentioned earlier, it's impossible, right? Compassion to all beings. Now, in order to generate compassion to others, the main important meditation is affection, love, mind of endearment. Without affection, love, impossible you cultivate compassion. It's affection, love. It's called mind of endearment, very important in order to cultivate compassion. I mentioned earlier, affection, love, which means you feel tremendous kind of the dear to others, seeing them so lovable. You feel very close to them, like a mother. When they have newborn baby, her mind is so connected with this baby, right? Feels so much dear, wants to hold them. That kind of sense of dear feeling, that's called affection, love. This is the main causes of compassion. So many people, we have a struggle. Even we know compassion is very good, important, but feeling very difficult. We cannot feel the compassion because we don't have affection, love. So when you have affection, love to every being, compassion is very easy. Not that much difficult. Struggle is affection, love, the mind of endearment. Our heart, our mind is not connecting to others, not holding them, not feel dear. That's why struggle started there. So therefore, in order to generate mind of endearment, right, feel close to other, first 3 meditation. Understanding all sentient beings as your mother, remember their kindness, wish to repay their kindness. These 3 meditation we're doing, our main goal is to feel the affection, love, to feel dears. That's why. So now, in order to connect that, mother's kindness is the first, most easier to understand. Mother's kindness, right? Every being's, without mother's love, I think we're not going to survive. Not only human, even animal realms. Without mother's love, we're not going to survive, right? That's very clear. When we born, human being, when first we born, I always telling them, it's like 7 or 8 pounds of meat. It's there now, right? You don't know how to work, you do not know anything. It's just like there. So without somebody there to take care, this little baby is not going to survive. That's very clear. Worse than animals. Animals, after 5 minutes, they can follow the mother, right? They can go and suck the milk, everything they can do it. Animals can do. Human being is really, really fragile. Compared with that, everything mothers have to do. Otherwise, it will not going to survive. That's how we should understand the mother's kindness of holding the baby, taking care of the babies. And when first she was pregnant, as soon as when she diagnosed, yes, baby there, her one part of mind is always concerned to this little baby, to protect, to survive. Sake of baby, they have to sacrifice so many things, right? To stop not drinking alcohol, all kind of whatever they're doing, maybe many behave, they have to stop. And sometimes certain type of illness, even they have to stop take the medicine. They're concerned to the babies. So they're doing this without complaining. They're doing voluntarily, happily to give up on everything for sake of healthy babies. That kind of love, very precious, very sacred, very difficult. Only you get it from your mothers, nothing else. So there are many after born, then everything's mother is the one who have to, right, to take care of this, everything's food, shelter, every detail. Then education, all these things they have. Even baby become adult, they still mentally still concerned, still care about this. So that kind of kindness is unforgettable kindness, right? In this life, one of the most first the kindness we receive from your mother, and finally she end of her life, she's still thinking about their children, as the children receiving this, right? Till she death, she will think. So that kind of kindness is not that much difficult to understand. We just think that way. Many people we are not thinking, but if you think it is easy to understand. So that is why Buddha taught first, understand all sentient beings as your mother. So what that means mother kindness is much easier to understand. So therefore, it's much easier to feel appreciate to your mother, to feel gratitude to your mother. It's much easier. That's why they use mother, right? So it's example. Then you apply to father, understanding all sentient beings, your father, understanding all sentient beings, your grandparents, any other things. But specifically first, they use mother because majority, in this planet, we receive benefit from our mothers, right? That's the majority. Therefore, as a Buddhist, second, what you call medium scope and small scopes, we're studying of the 12 link of interdependent, Four Noble Truths I mentioned earlier last time, and talking about the karma. All of these philosophy, teaching us our mental continuum is not just one. It's come from previous. It's beginningless, right? There's no beginning. It's called the beginningless. No beginning doesn't mean we don't see them, right? Not seeing the beginning, that doesn't mean that. You cannot find the first causes, because if this is causes, there is a causes. Without having causes, how can this become a cause? This become a cause because they have a cause there, right? And that cause, because of cause, that means there is another causes. That's why this become a causes. So you keep going, you cannot find what is the first cause. If there is a first cause there, always difficult from the logic perspective. That cause come from where? Who created? How it is there? Without having any cause, they just become cause. How? There's nothing, anything, something there. How? So that's why from the Buddhist perspective, it's called the beginningless. There's no beginning, right? That logic they're using. So every sentient beings out this life, we have a past life. There's a mother, and that past life has a mother. You can keep going. Your life is beginningless, right? That means in the whole your life as your parents. So today my current mother, she been my mother not only on this life, because in the past many lives, countless. Just being my mother from my current mother, it's countless time. Reason is my life and her life is beginningless. I've been her mother countless time. She been my mother countless time, because our life is beginningless. Using this logic, seeing entire beings being my mother in the past countless time. So that philosophy, they're using this. So understanding all sentient being is your mother. So when you know that, then first remember their kindness. This life mother's kindness. You think again. Eventually you feel appreciate to your mother, right? You feel gratitude to your mother. And that same, not only her, my father, my grandparents, my friends, these are also been my mother in the past countless time. During that time, I also exactly received that same kindness, benefit from them when they were my mother, right? Then finally, entire beings, because all of them being my mother, so I receive that exactly same kindness, same benefit from entire beings. Even in this life, my enemy. We don't remember past, even we don't remember when we are in the mother womb. Even this life, right? When you are in the mother womb, what you feel, what you see, we don't remember anything, right? Past life is much more far. Of course not. So but logic we're using. So in the past, all of those beings today, in the past, I received exactly that same kindness from all of them, right? Mother's kindness, father's kindness, my grandparents' kindness, countless time. That's the second meditation. Then third, wish to repay their kind. When you feel so much appreciate, then really I have to give back to them. Wish to repay their kindness. That kind of meditation, right? So when you do this, eventually you feel. So first you're thinking logic. Eventually when you feel it, then when you really sincerely feel appreciate and wish to repay kindness, you automatically feel close to them. It's called affection love, right? You feel cherished to them, affection love, feel dear to them, that kind of connection. So when you feel that to every being's affection love, then you look at all of those beings are suffering, right? That's how the line here saying, when your mothers who love you since time without beginning are suffering. Our sufferings, when your mother is talking about understanding all sentient being is your mother, who loved you since without beginning, that's remember their kindness, right? That's the teaching. And implicitly wish to repay their kindness. Our suffering, that's talking about compassion now, right? The compassion. So, which means all of them are suffering. So suffering, what kind of suffering? How much you know the suffering? That's why the medium scope, stanza 9, when we study, stanza 9, we're talking about the sufferings, right? Specific suffering of conditioning, the pervasive conditioning, which means samsara suffering, like this aggregates which we have, our body, our minds, everything's are contaminated. They are not pure. All of them are contaminated. Suffering of conditioning, that's called. Because of having this kind of body, contaminated meat body, we have suffering of aging, sickness, death and dying. Because of contaminated mind, we have stress, depression, anxiety, fear. Doesn't matter externally how much you gain, even you become a king of this planet, you still have all of these problems because this conditioning suffering. So thinking entire beings are the victim of these suffering. Doesn't matter rich, poor, everybody has this problem, suffering of conditioning, pervasive suffering. So that suffering, if you really know, then it's much easier to feel compassion to others. That's why renunciation, last Tuesday we talked about, renunciation is your understanding you are suffer by the suffering of pervasive conditioning. So doesn't matter whatever realms you're born, even God realms, wherever, as long as when you're born into samsara, suffering, right? Suffering of pervasive conditioning. So this suffering you know through your own experience, then entire beings, famous, rich, powerful, doesn't matter. All of them have exactly the same victim of these suffering. When you know they suffer, then feeling compassion is easier because you feel so close, so dear. So all of those beings, it's whatever their lifestyle they choose is sake of happiness, but they all suffer, right? All different types of the suffering. So each of these suffering, you see it through that you're generating. I really wish all of them be free from suffering, right? The causes of sufferings, which are their mental affliction. That's called compassion. That feeling arises, compassion. Then you meditate holding this next. Just wish them free from suffering. It's not going to change their suffering. As a mother, just you wish your children be free from suffering, it will not that much benefit. So mother take sense of self-responsibility. I will going to save to my children. I will going to help them. That kind of attitudes called unusual attitude. Number 6. It's compassion, very different level. It's called this compassion, you take sense of self-responsibility. I will going to save to entire beings. I will going to save them. I will going to help them. Not just I wish them to be free from suffering. You take sense of self-responsibility. That's called unusual attitude, special compassion. So when you have sincerely that, when you really feel like I will really going to save them, help them, then you see, how can I save them? How can I help them? I myself will still suffer. I myself will still circle in samsara. How can I pull out them? It's impossible. So in order to save them, I need to achieve enlightenment, Buddhahood. That's the only the way I can able to save, right? Otherwise, I cannot able to do that. Even I wish to save them, but that wish alone is nothing to benefit to them. So you have to, practically you have to save them. To do that, I need to achieve enlightenment, Buddhahood. Without that, it's impossible. Through that reason, then you are looking, I really desperately wants to achieve Buddhahood, enlightenment, then I can able to save entire beings. The purpose of achieve Buddhahood is to save all my mother sentient beings who've been suffer for countless life being suffer. Future they will go same way to suffer. So now I need to save them. Therefore, I need to achieve enlightenment, Buddhahood. That desire, that kind of mind called bodhicitta, right? So that through these 6 meditation, then when you finally really to achieve the bodhicitta, then you become a bodhisattvas, right? Bodhisattvas. So when you have that bodhicitta is the best vehicle, will take you to the enlightenment Buddhahood. Finally, who will take there? Your bodhicitta. This the dharma will take there. You have a wish to become a doctor, that intention, that wish take you future to become a Buddha, become a doctors, right? So you wish to become an artist, then ended up you become an artist. You wish to share your life with him or her, you ended up your life with him or her. That's how. First, who will take their intention? That's the first thing. When you have that, that intention will pull you to their where goal. So that's called bodhicitta. It's the one who take you there. So if you have very strong bodhicitta, much faster there, your practice. Bodhicitta so-so, then your practice become a so-so, right? If you really desperately seeking yourself become a doctor, you put so much effort to study everything to become a doctor. If you have so-so, like that, then you're also so-so. Sometimes you change now. First you want that, now after a few days, my friend told me, no, doctor is not good, maybe businessman, make money much better, easier. Then they change there, right? Then eventually, business is something wrong, go be artist. There's some people losing because of the intention is not correct there, not strong enough, right? So bodhicitta is the one who makes them Buddha in the future, right? So that bodhicitta strong or light based on compassion, how much strong you have. If you sincerely feel compassion to entire beings, your bodhicitta become indestructible bodhicitta. It doesn't matter how difficult it is, you can never give up. So those masters, Milarepa and those, very difficult, right? Life. They never give up because of the compassion to others. Their bodhicittas makes them very strong. So therefore, here essence of the one of practice is bodhicitta we need to now develop. So in order to develop this bodhicitta, mentioned earlier, 2 different lineage. So today I talk about the Maitreya lineage of this, instruction. It's called the lineage of extensive deeds. So these things you have to really understanding each step correctly. Then when you meditate, much better. Even this half know, half don't know, it's impossible. How can you meditate? So therefore you learn this. Then you read the textbooks, right? Then you furthermore investigate, research. Finally you feel conviction. This is the how you can feel it. Then you put it into the meditation. Slowly your mind is changing. better, better. So that's the called dharma. That's this realization. So this realization will finally, what they're going to do? It will cut your selfish, it will slowly cut your anger, all your mental afflictions, right? These inner realizations are the one who will change them, who will declining them. So therefore, here stanza practice 10th, where they develop altruistic intention, which is among the variety altruistic intention, one of the best altruistic intention is bodhicitta. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. That is why bodhisattvas are practicing on this bodhicitta, right? So now next, we're going to go, the next one is the Manjushri lineage, how they develop bodhicitta. Then you should look at which one is more suited with you, which one is more easier for you. Then you choose and you apply it. Sometimes both. And there are many practitioners who apply both lineage practice combined together, right? The main thing is mind of endearment. That's you need to first really put effort to feel dear. So if you don't feel it, look at why I don't feel this. Where's the struggle I have? Dig down, look at, oh, I don't do this way. So I should really go this way, to put down there and dig down, and what kind of complicated there, I don't understand. Clarify and practice. So when you really feel mind of endearment, then compassion, bodhicitta, rest of them, much easier. The struggle started, I think, the mind of endearment. That's why the best way is remember others' kindness. Always try to look others' good quality. Somehow our mind is really interesting. They always look something bad things. And they're very, very smart to pick little bad things there, easily pick it up. You put it there, beautiful colors, like sand, like beautiful painting. There's a one dot, something wrong there, they keep that one first. They take that one, right? You can see our, what you call this, news. In this planet, there's so many good things around there. Somehow, they always take the bad side things. They bring these things, put it there. And people becoming, when they have lots of good things, they're not exciting. Bad things, they're excited. That's how they make money. That's why they bring all the bad things. That's how our mind, what they're showing, it's showing our human mind is so much polluted with the negative minds. So negative minds always like the negative things. That's how we need to learn good things. Try to look. So that's why all sentient beings, my mother, remember kindness, repeat this kindness. These all things we're learning like a baby. What is the good side? What is the kindness? What is the good quality side? When you see something good things, even the person you don't like it, one good things you find it, just hold that one first. Keep that pure. Don't make that dirty. We make dirty. Dirty means even that guy is very generous. You say, oh, is this generous? It's no, because it's politics. So we make this dirty. Even the good things, we just ourselves put it something, this something. So the good things you found it, hold that good things and look at from that perspective. That's how our minds become learning. That's called meditation, analytical meditation. We analyze, right, what kind of things we look. So it's in your choice. If you always look at the negative side, you ended up with a very negative. If you look at the positive side, the very thing makes your mind so calm and happy, right? So that is why meditation, we learn here, all sentient beings, mother, what they're giving us the advice is advising us living in the society. Many things we see, we hear. So that time, good things when we see here, keep this and think those more and more. When you apply to this guy, like for instance, John, John has a good things, John has a bad things. So for you, labeling, right? As a Buddhist, everything you label. There's nothing, anything exists independently, inherently. For you, labeling John means very talented person. You label on that. For you, as soon as when you see the John, feel something joy. The John who may be lying one time, when you label John means this liar. So as soon as when you think about John, it's a liar, bad side, give you bad effect. So that's labeling. It's your hand, where you label, how you label. These meditation, understanding Mother, sentient beings, like all these things are helping us to look positive way, label, positive side, label. Do more like that. For the Mahayana practitioner, huge advantages. Even you living with around the people, neighbor, whoever there, you feel like they're whole like a family. You trust, believe. Some people see like everybody around there are the, what you call, devil or evil. So very scary now. Ended up their life is very scary all day. But that's how they label, that's how they look it, right? In samsara, there are good things, there are bad things, all these things. That's why these practice, the first three meditation, all sentient beings as mother, remember kindness, repay, wish to repay their these are what give you our day-to-day life is, we always appreciate others' good quality. We always appreciate others' kindness. We always recognizing others' good qualities, other good things. Be aware more of that. Be familiarized these things. Think more on that way. And that helps your minds go much positive way towards compassion, towards love to all beings. Right? That's how we should start. Okay, thank you. So we're going to stop here. So then, conclusion here. So this Mane mantra is mantra of compassion. So we learned this compassion just briefly today. So apply this meditation during the reciting the mantra. Om mani padme hoi, Om mani padme hoi, Om mani padme hoi, Om mani padme Om mani padme hoi, 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 Om mani padme hoi. And thus, honorable, compassionate gurus, we seek your blessings that all karmic types, obstacles, and sufferings of mother beings may be without exception ripen upon us right now, and that we may give our happiness and virtues to others, and thereby invest all beings in bliss. And thus, honorable, compassionate gurus, we seek your blessings that all karmic types, obstacles, and sufferings of mother beings may be without exception ripen upon us right now, and that we may give our happiness and virtues to others, and thereby invest all beings in bliss. Hoi te ai nai chi chi, lai mai toi chi, che mai joi toi, ve ti to, ne ma lui ta da lai mi pa ta da ki te Geshe la tai wai joy kyo in de don de ba jin ji lo joy kyo in de don de ba jin ji lo Chanjo Simjo Rinpoche Maki Panam Kijuji Keba Nyamba Mepaya Kone Kondo Pewa Sho. May the precious and sublime bodhicitta not yet born be born, and that which has been born not decline, but increase forever. Okay, thank you. Have a good night.